It's in our nature to doubt ourselves, to compare ourselves to others. You scroll through your feed, you see all the beautiful art posted by the amazing artists you follow, and this niggly thought starts scrolling into your head. Why am I not that good? Will I ever be even close to being that good? You get a surge of inspiration and are determined to create your best artwork yet. You run over to your sketchbook, all the tools in hand, ready to peek. You draw, then draw some more, erase, redraw, delete, draw again. Nothing you produce feels even close to the artist you aspire to be. A wave of anger mixed in with some guilt and self-pity washes over you, and for a brief moment you feel like maybe this is not meant to be. Maybe art is not what you're truly good at. Maybe you're just not good enough. Well, newsflash, every artist feels this way, more often than you think, more often than they show. We are all guilty of comparing ourselves and our work to others. Comparison can be healthy, but more often than not, it's to our own detriment. Think of all the unfinished sketchbooks lying around in your storage, the halfway done Procreate files, the hundreds of hidden layers. Why did you not complete them? Like all artists, for a very long time I felt like I was not good enough at art, and I wasn't sure what to do about it. So last year I decided to push myself further than I ever have before and commit to daily drawing by taking on the 365 challenge. If you don't know, it's a challenge where for a whole year you create art every day. And to hold myself accountable, I decided to post what I create on the day too. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but thought it would make for an interesting journey. The first month was really fun. It took some time for me to figure out where in my day should I fit into drawing, but eventually I decided to stick to drawing in the evenings. I started trying out different styles, different subject matters, different color palettes. It was interesting to see how my thought process was changing too. After a few months, I started getting really worn out, tired, not happy with anything I was drawing, even when I got praise from others. I felt like I was not good enough. Not a good enough artist, not a good enough creator. I was getting frustrated the moment I would pick up my iPad and open Procreate. I was really reluctant to even finish anything I was drawing, let alone post it. I didn't feel good enough. I felt like giving up, but I'm glad I didn't. I soldiered through the whole 365 days. I kept drawing, kept creating, forcing myself to finish every piece I would start daily, even when I was not happy with the outcome, which, let's face it, was most of the time. When I finished the project, I went through all the art I created during that time and was astounded at the difference from then to now. It seems like everything has changed. My strokes became more confident, my style more cohesive, my line art more intent. I was expecting to see some change, but I was not expecting it to be this big. I was not expecting to go past what I thought was my creative limit, past the feeling of not being good enough. But it makes sense. Think about this. Violinists practice 3 to 4 hours daily, and we don't expect them to create a masterpiece every time they play. Tennis players, football players, any other professional athletes have to practice daily, yet we don't expect them to be the next big star. So why is it that we have a double standard when it comes to artists? Why is there an expectation of a talented person to be able to create their best work every time they pick up a pen and paper? I liked drawing from a very young age. For as long as I remember myself, I always drew. And so many people, so many teachers in school, and just anyone that would see my drawings would say that I was talented. This put so much unnecessary pressure on me as a little kid, just exploring art and having fun with it, using it as a way to communicate with the world and transmit my own emotions and internal feelings when I was not able to communicate them verbally yet. It got to the point that most of the time when someone would ask me to draw something for them, especially when it was on the spot, I would get a wave of anxiety. I felt the pressure to perform. I felt the pressure that I needed to make the best drawing ever. And if I didn't, then everyone would think that I'm a fraud. Everyone would think that I'm not talented, that I cannot draw, that I'm just an imposter, and I got lucky with everything else that I drew to this date. And that feeling, having been ingrained in me when I was very little, still remained in my head for a very, very long time. And it largely contributed to the feeling of not being good enough, to not feeling like I can create, to not feeling like I can accomplish my artistic dreams and ambitions, to feeling like I don't belong to this club. I have learned to accept that I will not be happy with most of what I create, and that's okay. I have learned to accept that in order to keep improving, I have to keep practicing, and that's okay too. I've learned not to compare myself to others and not to convince myself that I am not good enough at art. I hope this gives you a bit of reassurance and faith in your own creative abilities. Perfect doesn't exist, but practice does make a world of difference.